Hello students, a very good morning. So students, in last class we have started to discuss the topic Doppler effect in sound. So let's continue our topic with this discussion again, as I will just introduce the Doppler effect, and that is whenever the source or medium or the listener that is moving, then that time due to their relative motion there is the change in frequency occur, means at some we are starting to feel whether the frequency is decreasing or increasing depending on the direction of motion of the system, whole of these three systems. Then this kind of effect is known as Doppler effects in sound. So let's see how can we find out the expression for the apparent frequency, because the frequency that is appeared to heard by the listener, that is known as the apparent frequency. We are not ever listening the actual frequency reason, as here you can see one by one. So first, for the expression of apparent frequency, here a figure you can see that is 15.35, and in this figure we have first of all now the source you can see here. This is here L, that is the listener. So this is first of all these two points, that is source and listener, they are at some distance and they are stationary, they are at rest. Now medium, you can see this medium is here that is moving with some vm velocity. Now if this source started to move the velocity with the velocity vs and listener started to move with the velocity vl, so then obviously the whole of the system will starts to move with some v velocity. So let's see now, or you can see it simple, the velocity of sound, that is v. So if s be the source of sound, l is the listener, then it is given there both are initially at rest. So if nu is the actual frequency of sound emitted by the source and lambda be the actual wavelength of the sound emitted. So if v is the velocity of sound in still air, then lambda can be written as v by nu. So now let the distance between the source and listener be v. Why it will be v? Because if suppose in it is taking time 1 second, then obviously that distance will be v. So that the new waves that from the source reach the listener in 1 second. So obviously if 1 second is there, then the new number of waves we will just will come to the listener, that is the frequency of the wave exactly. For the frequency of sound that is heard by the listener is also new. So that time the listener will listen the same frequency, means if both the systems are stationary, they are at rest, source as well as the listener both are at rest, then sound that will is moving with velocity v. Also here the frequency produced by the sound, that is if nu, the listener will hear the same frequency. Next one, let us now consider a situation in which the source and the listener all start to move in the same direction from s to l. So here with some velocities are given now vm, vl and vs respectively. So as a result of the motion of the medium, the sound waves in 1 second travel now the distance v plus vm, because medium is moving in the same direction. So that will help to for the velocity of sound. So overall velocity will be now v plus vm in this case. So this is now the resultant velocity of sound along sl. Next one, further the distance moved by the source in 1 second. So distance moved by the source in 1 second, that is ss dash is equal to now vs. And the next one, always why we are taking the velocity as the distance, because we are taking time 1 second now. This is along sl again. Now next one, the relative velocity of sound with respect to the source. So relative velocity of sound now with respect to source, it will be v plus vm, that is the velocity of sound with which velocity is traveling, minus of the velocity of source. So if source is moving, then that time the velocity of sound that will be used here, relative velocity will be reduced. So this is the distance covered by the sound waves in 1 second relative to source, because source is also moving, so obviously my vs distance will be decreased from the overall distance v plus vm. Next one, as the frequency of sound wave remains unchanged by the motion of the source or the medium, So therefore new waves emitted in 1 second occupy the distance v plus vm uh, minus vs. So it means that here this one is I think also clear condition. So therefore apparent wavelength of the sound wave in this condition will become now lambda dash is equal to v by nu, we know. So v here, that is v plus vm minus vs upon nu. So these wavelengths of lambda dash, that is travel the listener who himself moves through the distance L dash VL in 1 second. Means he is listening this wavelength, but as well as he is also moving. So the whole of the wavelength listened by him, that will change now. So this relative velocity of sound wave with respect to now listener, that will be V minus V plus VL Vm minus Vl, because the distance will again decrease due to the motion of the here listener. Now this is the distance available in 1 second to waves of wavelength lambda dash. So apparent frequency will be now here this here heard by the listener, that is the relative velocity with respect to listener upon the wavelength heard by the listener. So that is V plus Vm minus Vl upon here lambda dash, we have value v plus vm minus vs upon nu. So we can see finally this formula, that is in bracket, that is the given by the equation number 88 from here. This is now the general expression for the calculation of frequency, but here to make it more general, what we are doing, we are just putting plus minus sign wherever you are getting plus or minus, there you can put plus minus sign. Now let's see the sign conventions here. Sign convention means if it is not necessary that medium, source and listener will always move in the same direction, they can move in the different directions also. So if they will starts to move in different directions, then what will be the frequency and how can we calculate it? So for that sign convention, here it is, first of all, sign convention is given all velocities along the direction SL are taken as positive, and all velocities along the direction L to S, means listener to source, that will be taken as negative. Now the first case is here. In case of medium is moving in opposite direction, that is from listener to source, then that time Vm will be taken as negative. Now the effective velocity of sound means in equation number 88, you will put the value of Vm as minus Vm. So you can get now the equation number 89. So this is now the equation here that we will get for this particular situation when medium is moving in opposite direction. So v minus vm, then minus vl, v minus vm, then minus vs into nu. And finally here, if the suppose one condition we have imposed, that is medium is stationary, medium is not moving, that is vm is 0, then we will get this case. Now the next one again, whenever the medium is stationary, in general, this equation we can write by this one. Just now I have told you where the minus sign you have, plus minus you can put, and this plus minus is showing now if the listener that is moving in the direction of the source, or it is moving here opposite to the source. So if it is starting to move opposite to the source, then that time it will be taken as negative, but in the direction of source it will be taken as positive here. So now some special cases that is given for this equation number here, that in general we have written this equation 90 just now, that I have circled before. So this one let's see here, the choice of plus minus sign is set by this rule obviously. So this is given now when the motion of the source or listener is towards the other, then the sign of its speed must give an upward shift in apparent frequency. When the motion of the source or listener is away from the other, the sign of its speed must give the downward shift in its apparent frequency. Let's see what is this one. Special cases are here. The first case, if the source is moving towards the listener but listener is at rest, means now the source of sound that is moving towards the listener and our vl, that is the listener's velocity, that is 0, and this condition vs is obviously moving towards the listener, s to l the motion is going on, so that will be taken as positive. So we have nu dash is equal to, using 90 equation 90, you can write v minus v upon v minus vs into nu. In this case you can see the denominator is less than The numerator, it means that new dash will be greater than new. So whenever the listener is at rest and the source is moving towards it, the frequency heard by the listener will be greater than the actual frequency of the sound produced by the source. The second one condition, if the source is moving away from the listener but the listener is at rest. So obviously if a source is moving from the in the direction of L to S in up away to that one, then that will be taken as negative. So we can write now from equation 90, nu dash is equal to V upon V plus Vs. So in this case, here again if you will see, this is V upon V plus Vs. That is, now the nu dash will be less than nu for this case. So nu will be greater than nu dash, because in this case now the denominator is greater than numerator. In first case denominator was less than numerator, exactly that's why nu dash will be greater than nu. So I think I have just said the wrong word there. Next one, these are now the two cases, means if a source of sound will go away from the listener, then that time the apparent frequency heard by the listener will start to decrease. But when it is starting to come towards the listener, it will start to increase. Now the third condition here, if the source is now at rest and listener is moving away from the source, uh, that is, here if it is moving away from the source, then Vs will be obviously 0, and Vl, that is, it is moving from S to L in the direction of S to L, so that will be taken as positive. So here we can write from again using equation 90, that is nu dash is equal to V minus Vl upon V into nu. So here we can see denominator is greater than numerator again, then that time nu dash will be less than nu in this case. Means now if listener starts to go away from the source, the frequency heard by him, that starts to decrease. The fourth condition, if suppose listener starts to move towards the source now, that case it is moving in opposite direction, so VL will be taken as negative. VS is at rest. If source is at rest, then VS will be 0. For that one case, nu dash will be V plus VL upon V into nu now. So we can see now the numerator is greater than denominator. So nu dash will be greater than obviously nu. Means when the listener starts to move towards the source of sound, it will he will hear apparent frequency greater than before. Now next case, if now suppose both are moving. So in both, if they are moving both, then if source and listener both are approaching to each other, means the source is moving from S to L, listener is moving from L to S, then obviously Vs will be taken as positive but Vl will be taken as negative. Then we can find out the formula, that is nu dash is equal to V plus Vl upon V minus Vs into nu. And you can only we can see nu dash is greater than nu from here, because our numerator is greater than denominator, then that time nu dash is greater. In that case, means if the source and listener they are approaching to each other, the frequency heard by the listener, that will start to increase. Next one, if both are going away from each other, then case Vs will be taken as negative but Vl will be taken as positive. Then you can again see nu dash will be calculated as V minus Vl upon V plus Vs into nu. So here, as denominator is greater, then that time nu dash will start to decrease if the source and listener are moving away from each other. Now the next case, that is here, if the source and listener are both in motion in the same direction and with the same velocity, then as Vs is equal to Vl, suppose that is V dash, so we can see nu dash is equal to V minus V dash upon V minus V dash into nu. So nu dash is equal to nu. Means there is not any relative change between the distance of source and listener. So the frequency produced by the source, that will be exactly here by the listener. So he will hear the same frequency as produced by the source. Next one, if the source and listener move at right angles to the direction of propagation of wave, in that direction case also, as we can write here, Vs cos 90 we will get in the direction of Vl, so that is 0. Obviously Vl cos 90 is also 0. Then that case we will again get the same frequency, so there will not be any change in frequency heard by if the both are moving at right angle to the direction of propagation. Near here something is given as a note that is written, that should be written in your memory, that is, remember that there is always an increase in frequency or pitch if source moves towards the listener or listener moves towards source, and or both moves towards each other. So this is always condition fulfilled, that generally by your own experience you can understand. While the apparent frequency decreases when either or both move away from each other, this change in frequency depends on speed of source and listener and not depends on distance between them exactly. So here I think students up to now, whatever we have discussed, that is completely clear. Now let's see the next topic after the Doppler effect. So this is now the whole thing about the Doppler effect, means how the frequency that is heard by the listener is changing with the variation of the velocity of different things. Now Doppler effect in sound is asymmetric. Asymmetric means, let's see, here considering the medium to be at rest, means the velocity vm is equal to 0. Now when the source is approaching to a velocity vs is equal to, suppose, v dash towards the listener at rest, then suppose vl is 0, then that time means listener is at rest, source is moving towards that one. So observed frequency according to formula 89, that is given by nu dash is equal to nu minus, sorry, nu upon so nu dash is equal to v upon v minus v dash into nu. Now when source is at rest and listener is moving with the same velocity towards the source, means vl is now minus v dash, vs is 0, and if we will use the formula again, so we can get nu dash double dash, that is v plus v dash upon v into nu. Here you can see from equation 91 and 92, nu dash is not equal to nu double dash, means here if we will move towards the source or source will move towards us with the same velocity, they will produce the frequency heard by the listener, that will be different in both cases. So this is not the symmetric case, means symmetricity will be there at that time when whether the source is moving towards listener or listener moving towards the source, the frequency heard by him, that should be same, because they are approaching to each other uh, with the same rate. But here always this frequency is different. So this is now the asymmetric behavior of sound. So it is given now here, the Doppler effect in sound is asymmetric. And generally it has been seen that here this new dash is greater than new double dash in this case, means when source will moving towards the listener, then that time frequency heard by the listener, that will be much greater than in comparison to when listener is moving towards the source. Here are some important points that you can see. First is there will be no Doppler effect, that is no change in frequency in the following cases. So these are now the certain cases in which you will not get any kind of apparent frequency. You will have the same frequencies. The first one, if the source and listener both move in the same direction with the same speed. For example, a person sitting in a moving train does not notice any change in the frequency of the whistling engine. That will the same frequency will be heard by the listener. Now the second one, when one of the source or listener is at the center of a circle while the other is moving on it with uniform speed. So that time also the frequency heard by the listener, that will be same. Next one, when both the source and listener are at rest and wind alone is blowing. Using that one also there will not be the change in the frequency heard by the listener. Next one, Doppler effect holds for electromagnetic waves including microwaves and radio waves. So the formulas are however different for those of the sound wave. So later in next class you will also see that Doppler effects in light waves. Next one, when speed of source or listener becomes equal to or greater than the speed of sound, then the Doppler formula for the apparent frequency, that will not apply here. So that will start to violate. Next, a bat emits pulses of very high frequency and uses Doppler shift to detect and catch flying insect. So this is now the use of Doppler effect that is done by the bat. So here that is when an insect is flying faster than the bat, then the reflected frequency is lower. When the bat is catching up to the insect, the reflected frequency is higher. So the bat thus learn how far away the insect is, how large it is, where is it, and what is its relative velocity. All the factors you can understand easily by using Doppler shift. Next one, the Doppler flow meter is used to measure the speed of blood corpuscles using transmitting and receiving elements that are placed directly on the skin. So, using this meter, doctors can detect the motion of the fetal hearts as early as 8 to 10 weeks after conception. So students, with this topic now our chapter is going to be end here. With this one also our not only the chapter, our whole of the syllabus of class 11th we are going to end here with this one. So let's see here one of the numerical problem on based on this one, that is the Doppler effect. Sample problem is given, that is a siren is fitted on a car going towards the vertical wall at a speed of 36 kilometer per hour. So a person standing on the ground behind the car listened to the siren sound coming directly from the source as well as that coming after reflection from the wall. So calculate the apparent frequency of the wave first coming directly from the siren to the person, and the second one coming after reflection. So take the speed of sound is 340 now, actual frequency of siren is given 500. So here let's use now the formula for the apparent frequency. So it is given now the speed of the car, that is Vs. This is the source that is producing sound, that 36 kilometer per hour. We can convert it into meter per second. Speed of sound is given. In first case, when listener is at rest, the car is moving away from the listener. So that case, you know, the frequency is given by V upon V plus Vs into nu. So V is exactly 340 upon V is again 340 plus 10, and V new has value 500. You can calculate now the new dash, the frequency heard by the listener, that will be 485.7 hertz. The second case, the frequency received by the walls when source is moving towards the wall. So here that is given by new double dash is new upon V minus Vs, because source is now going to be the same direction. So that is now obtained as 515.2 hertz. So the wall reflects this sound without changing the frequency. Therefore, the frequency of reflected wave as heard by the listener on the ground is 515.2 hertz. So this is, I think, question is now this is very clear. Next, let's see some curiosity based question. So the curiosity based question is given here. The most reliable way to find damage in bridges is to listen to them. So this is very you can say philosophical line. If you will hear the bridges, then you can just find out the damage in them. So we have to comment on the statement with brief explanation. So let's see how can we understand this one. So visual search for cracks in steel bridges is almost futile. So David Prine, the US scientist, that he has devised acoustic bridge inspection. According to him, when a piece of steel cracks, a very high frequency sound that is of near about 150 kilohertz is emitting. So using acoustic emission sensor, that is sensitive microphone attached to the steel in a bridge, we can capture audio signal from the structure, and these signals are fed into the computer which filter out traffic and other noise signal. So the computer locate where from the bridge or the frequency range is cracking steel is coming, because such high frequency can be produced whenever the steel will crack or bridge will crack. So we can easily locate the just cracking position of the or location of the bracelet, and we can just uh, remove that crack from there. So this is now the way in which most reliably we can listen the damages in the braces. So that is now known as acoustic method for the production of this. Next one here, that is draw the decibel scale to show the sound level of most familiar sound in day to day life. So here the first one you can see the sound level and the decibel are given here: soft whisper bedroom, average classroom, moving car, moving heavy truck, and jet plane takeoff. The decibel sounds are given. So generally the sound up to 50 to 60 decibel, 50 decibel, that is very terrible for our ears. But when this starts to be beyond this 160 decibel, then that time it starts to be painful for us. So we cannot bear very greater decibel, well, just sound. Now I think student, that is again this whole of the chapter, whole of the syllabus is covered, and there is no problem in all that. So let's end our class here. In from the next class we will start our revision as well as the question solving properties. So thank you students for today.